Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. We are doing our MTG keywords and looking at Lieutenant this time. Lieutenant's a weird one. It's only really useful in Commander. So if you're not playing Commander, turn this off right now. No, I'm kidding. But anyway. So what is this series about? In this series, we look at different keywords and mechanics introduced in different sets. So again, as I said, this is an odd one. Several cards with the Lieutenant ability do not feature the keyword. So this is the first, well, the first way I think is that it only applies to commanders. And the second way is that a lot of cards that are frankly Lieutenant cards do not actually have the keyword Lieutenant, which is just very odd. Okay, so finally, as usual, we take a look at some of the best budget options this keyword has to offer. Or a lack thereof keyword. A lot of my budget cards don't actually say Lieutenant on them, but they are. Okay, they are. So what is Lieutenant? So Lieutenant is a keyword only useful in Commander. It requires a commander to activate all of these abilities. So when your commander's out and you have one of these, it will confer some kind of bonus, which probably sounds familiar, but we're going to cover that. Many of them provide a bonus to your commander, so many of them are directly helping out your commander, while others give a bonus to all creatures as long as your commander is on the battlefield. Some also provide a variety of static bonuses during your turn. So it is very flexible. There are a lot of different kinds of bonuses you can get from it. And yeah, most of them I think do directly help your commander, but not. There's actually plenty that do other stuff. Alright. Does this sound familiar? So this mechanic is oddly similar to many kindred bonuses that creatures may provide. A lot of kindred bonuses, again, when we talk about like merfolk or the goblins or the rats, all of those series, they will give bonuses to other rats, rats to other rats, and things like that. This gives bonuses specifically to the commander instead, which is kind of odd, but anyway. But yeah, again, this is a lot like many kindred effects that seems familiar, but are limited to commander, focusing on the role of the creature rather than the creature subtype. So it is kind of weird, right? All of the kindred stuff only cares about the creature subtype, and then yeah, commander just, it's like the role you define rather than what the kind of game design says. So it's a very odd one. Honorable mentions. Okay, first up, Loyal Drake. Fortuna Blue is 18 cents for a flying, or a 2/2 flyer, which isn't bad. And its Lieutenant ability actually does say Lieutenant. At the beginning of your combat on your turn, if you control your commander, draw a card. Just an extra card draw. You know what? It's not super flashy or anything, but card draw is card draw. You know what? Get it. Dragon Cultist. So 4 in a red is 9 cents. So this is an enchantment now. 5 is a lot, but let's see what it does. Okay, at the beginning of your end step. Okay, not each. Your. If a source you control dealt 5 or more damage to this turn, create a 4/4 red dragon creature token with flying. Okay, just a source you control. A source you control. It doesn't care what color, it doesn't care about damaging opponents, it doesn't care about all kinds of things. You can if you cast say Lightning Bolt and you have extra damage. Lightning Bolt's 3, if you get 2 extra for using a red, that's 5. That triggers it. It's just a source you control does damage. Doesn't matter who it does that damage to. Doesn't matter like what type of card you use or even an ability. Fine. Any source, right? Source is very open, so that's a great word to look for. Anyway, 9 cents, as I said. Okay, we're gonna move on to a couple of green ones here. Hardy Outlander is 1 in a green only. That's very cheap, and 6 cents. So it's cheap at CMC, cheap in reality. Yeah. Commander creatures you own have whenever a creature whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponents have more life than that player Another target you control gets +X until end of turn, where X is this creature's power. So it's going to basically double a creature's power, which isn't double strike, but it can be used. It's kind of better because multiple instances of double strike don't stack. This would stack with double strike, right? Especially if you want to do commander damage, you can target like the person with the most life, give your commander double damage, and then double their power. That's 4 times the damage, getting to 21. You need 6, right? If your commander can do 6 damage, if you give it double strike and then you have this, that's commander damage. That's knocking people out of the game. Just one-shot them. Doesn't matter how much life they have. Loyal Guardian. So 4 and a green for 22 cents. Definitely more expensive here. I mean higher CMC I should say. But anyway. It's a 4/4 with trample, which isn't bad. Not great, but... At the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So this is just going to drop counters on all of your creatures every combat, right? They don't have to attack, they don't have to like do da-da-da-da-da. Just combat happens. This is, I always say I love this type of trigger that just cares about like phases and things like that. You don't have to do anything. You just take your turn and then boom, you're good to go. 22 cents. In the right deck, this is like just absolutely crazy. If you've got like a token deck where you're just pumping out lots of tokens, throw this in, and those tokens by like this 3rd round, right? Even the 2nd combat, they've gotten +2/+2 for everything. All right. Number 5. Angelic Field Marshal. Okay, so this is a 3/3 flyer for 4, which isn't great, but Lieutenant. As long as you control your commander, Angelic Field Marshal gets +2/+2, so it's a 5/5 flyer for 4. Much better. And creatures you control have vigilance. So just all of your creatures get vigilance, right? That's crazy. I have a Convoke deck. I have to get this from my Convoke deck. Because then all of your creatures can attack, and attacking does not cause them to tap. So then in your 2nd main phase, you can tap them all, and you basically use them as like mana dorks. Anyway, 65 cents for that one. Number 4. Tyrant's Familiar. Alright, so this is 5 red, so 7. This is getting pricey, but I think it's still worth it. Flying Haste. Alright, 5/5 Flying Haste is not bad already, but alright. Lieutenant. As long as you control your commander, Tyrant's Familiar gets +2/+2. So this is now a 7/7 flyer with haste if your commander's out. For 7 mana, that's getting worthwhile at least. Whenever Tyrant's Familiar attacks, it deals 7 damage to target creature defending player controls. Okay, the creature does not have to be blocking or anything. Just if you're attacking that player, it automatically does 7 damage to whatever creature you want, or whichever creature you want. Okay, that's just repeatable removal, right? Even a removal spell like this would probably cost 2 mana. So even if you get 1 trigger, if he has haste, so the first time comes to the battlefield, if your commander's out, he's a 7/7 with haste, you attack right away, and you blow up something, right? Then you basically got 2 mana's worth of value out of that. You've got a 7/7 flyer for essentially the equivalent of 5 mana. And then if he doesn't get knocked out that round, he's going to do it again and again and again. Like, oh boy. Anyway, 54 cents. Number 3. Bastion Protector. This is one of my cards I use a lot. Alright, so for 2 and a white, it's a 3/3. So 3 mana for a 3/3, not bad. Commander creatures you control get +2/+2 and have indestructible. Your commander's getting +2/+2, which is useful in a lot of ways. And indestructible. Basically, it's like a lock. This card is like a lock. You're making it so your commander can't be destroyed until this card is destroyed. I guess exile still works, but yeah. A lot of the standard removal or board wipes or things like that, your commander is just going to survive them right away. Alright? Anyway, 39 cents. Number 2. Thunderfoot Baloth. This might be a weird number 2. I feel like Bastion Protector could be in the top 3 almost anywhere, but alright. I went with this. I'll stick with it. Alright, so 4 green. So not cheap. For a 5/5 with trample, 6 mana is not good. But Lieutenant, as long as your commander... as long as you control your commander, Thunderfoot Baloth gets +2/+2, and other creatures you control get +2/+2 and have trample. What? Just like +2/+2, so this is now a 7/7 with trample, which is actually at least worth, it's not super great, but it's worth the 6 mana, and it gives everything else +2/+2 and trample. I gotta start putting this in every green deck, because that's like a win con right there. Anyway, 49 cents. Which keyword do you want me to cover? I would really like some feedback. There's a lot of keywords, so it's kind of hard to choose. I've got some ideas, I don't know what people are interested in hearing. Oh, please hit like and subscribe. Yeah, it really helps. Anyway, number 1. Loyal Unicorn. Okay, so for 3 and a white, it's a 3/4 with Vigilance. Okay, sure. I feel like, yeah, 3/4 Vigilance I said is the least impressive on the list. I guess Bastion Protector is actually worse, but Bastion Protector's ability is just incredible. So maybe, I don't know. Anyway, at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you control your commander, prevent all combat damage that will be dealt to creatures you control this turn. Other creatures you control gain Vigilance until end of turn. This is going to give everything Vigilance and just ignore combat damage. So on your turn, you can just attack with everything every turn, and they're not going to take combat damage, so blocking doesn't matter, and they're going to have Vigilance so they don't get tapped. So you're just like throwing everything at them every turn. So this is kind of just a much better version of my number 5 card, so maybe I shouldn't have put them both on the list, I'm now realizing, but oh well. Anyway, 20 cents. The list. Angelic Field Marshal is 65 cents. Tyrant's Familiar is 54 cents. Bastion Protector is 39 cents. Thunderfoot Baloth is 49 cents. And the real cheapest one on the list is number 1 this time. Loyal Unicorn is 20 cents only. I gotta order some of those right now. Okay, anyway, take it easy.